A $40,000 deposit isn't enough to get a house. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee, let's have a look at this article from news.com.au which is discussing a Gold Coast family saved $40,000, but it's still not enough to buy a house in Queensland. Okay, well, let's go through this article and then we'll jump over here and we'll do a bit of house hunting on the Gold Coast. Now, I know the Gold Coast. I grew up down there. Well, I went to most of my primary school and high school down the Gold Coast. I'm a Miami High boy. Don't hold it against me. And so let's have a look at what they're trying to get for 40 grand, because 40 grand should be enough of a deposit to get into a place. It really should. So, despite a huge amount of money in the bank, huge amount, this Queensland couple are wondering if they'll ever be able to purchase a house. Okay, so despite having, what's going on here with this? There we go. Despite having 40,000 in savings, Mum Nicolette Mewing is starting to think her family will never achieve the Aussie home ownership dream. 40,000, you think that should be enough, at least close to a 10% deposit if you could find a place for under 400,000. Because remember, you've got stamp duty, you've got all these other costs where you have to jump through the hoop. Or if you go for a 5% deposit, which seems to be the rage now, you know, you could get there. The Queensland mum has a 2-year-old daughter with her husband Brett. She works in public relations and he is a pilot. But because he's paid in foreign currency, his income won't be counted by the bank. Oh, really? Really? Does that make... Let me know in the comments, guys. I'll ring up my mortgage broker mate, because that sounds like utter BS. They'll just look at your total revenue. Anyway, recently they went to find out their options for a home loan and were told that a 20% deposit would be needed. Okay, a 20% deposit. Probably because he's a pilot, and that's what they're worried about. I mean, for us now, for my family, it will be impossible for us to get a home loan because we've got so many kids. We've got 5 children, everyone. And that means, you know, people seem to think kids cost a lot of money. They really don't. Honestly, they do not. It's much more cost effective when you have a whole heap of them close together. You get to reuse stuff all the time. It's insane. You know, the rule is only 1 extracurricular activity per kid. So, there was a house here in Burleigh Heads. Okay, Burleigh Heads. With a price guide of 1.2 million. And it went for 1.6 because of the bidding war from a Melbourne person that hadn't even seen it. Well, you might not be able to head to Burleigh Heads. You might not be able to live in Burleigh Heads for your first home. I mean, come on. This is crazy. Okay? So when you're taking talking about 20% loan at that sort of price range is quite crazy. Well, why are you looking at Burleigh Heads, everyone? Okay, and so if we jump over here, this is Burleigh Heads, okay? It's, you know, it's a lovely area. What I'll do is I'll bring up Google Earth to show some people there. You know, there are a bunch of... Rachel actually lived there for a time. Before we lived together, she moved out of home from her mother's place, and she lived in Burleigh Heads. And it's kind of like a, you know, a hipster, trendy, you know, rich people who pretend they're hippies type of area there. And, you know, it's nice. The beach is great there. But, you know, it's expensive. Where are we looking at here? You know, Burleigh Heads. Okay, so you got the Stocklands shopping centre here. Used to go always there when I was a kid. Because I think I went to Burleigh Heads State School, actually. My primary school, which is over here. But let's have a look. Let's have a look at this area here. We go along here. You're right across from the beach, everyone. You know, you're right across from the beach here. It's always lucky to find a car park there. And there's all these apartments and things running along here. And then, if you go up the hill here, you've got all of these blocks, these houses with some of them can get some quite nice views of the beach from up here. You know? So, is it just me, or should you not really be considering beachfront views for your first home. That may not be the, unless you're really making the coin, that may be a stepping stone where you need to get to later in life. It shouldn't be your first home. Maybe you should be going a bit further out. Maybe adjust your expectations, or live within your means, or not look at borrowing a whole heap of money. Then if we go a bit further out here, I mean, we can go to the suburbs. You know, some of the new developments here. And there you just have standard, you know, standard speckies, guys. Standard speckies. With no eaves. In Queensland, no eaves. I don't understand why. No eaves. They want you to, you know, they want you to put all this insulation everywhere, all this BS, air conditioning, automatically shutting windows, all these other restrictions, and then they don't put eaves on buildings. Eaves make a big difference. They really reduce the thermal load on your building. Another thing is big trees. I mean, this area, I remember when this was all new, because one of my friends bought, his parents bought here, and I'm just looking around. Yeah, the trees really haven't, they're starting to grow a bit. They're starting to grow. But yeah, trees make a big difference on your thermal load of your building too. But eaves. So, I mean, Burleigh Heads, you know, you might not be, oh, we're looking at shipping data here. You might not be a Burleigh Heads type of girl. You know, you may feel like you are, but you know, might not be at that level. You may need to move out a little bit further. You know, maybe, and we'll look at some options. But the family isn't looking to splash out millions on a home. Ideally, they're searching for a 3-bedroom house in the $650 to $700 price range, somewhere on the Gold Coast. Okay. I mean, they're referring to that Burleigh Heads one just because it just shows you how it's unique. You're getting ocean views. You can just walk down to the beach. You know, it's a beautiful environment there. I can see why someone from Melbourne would pay a little bit more there. It's the same reason why we went to holiday here as I was a kid all the time from Victoria. So, we've already made peace that we won't use the first homeowner's grant as it's for new builds only. But ours would be an older style home that would probably need to be renovated as we're going for location over a luxury interior. Well, you don't need to renovate it. You can just put up with having not the perfect interior, guys. It's what we've done. It's what my mother did. Well, my mother, we got her a little place up in the northern part of, where was it, Coomera, you know, up in the northern part of, up here, the northern part of the Gold Coast. She lived down here and ended up downsizing, moving up here to a smaller place. And she didn't like the place, the kitchen she wanted to redo. What we ended up doing was painting it, redoing the flooring. We got a plank vinyl flooring that we put in there. And then she just did a few tiny little things, like, you know, put a piece of, stuck some stainless steel over some dodginess in the kitchen, and it's fine. You know, when she came in there, it was a rental. And she said, oh, I got to change this. And now she's made it a home. So you kind of get used to it. And thinking, oh, why should I burn that money on a new kitchen when this one's working perfectly fine? Maybe that's just the lesson you have to learn, to be honest. And Rachel actually found that one, and it worked out really well, to be honest. It's like a tiny version of the family home we had, the 3-bedroom place we had. So, what with 40 grand in savings, the couple discovered they aren't even eligible to borrow 550. Yeah, you should be. Your target should be under 400, guys. That's where it should be. It should be under 400. If anything, this may show people how much they need, even with such low interest rates. Miss Mewing was told by the bank that they would need a $55,600 deposit, as well as government fees of about $11,000 and bank costs of $2,000 on top of that, which would add up to 68 grand. We had that when we bought this place. You know, all of a sudden the bank started taking more money, and we said, no, we only want this much for the deposit because we wanted to actually start to spend on the renovation. But then we just ended up paying more. So our plans were delayed because of the bank. They were quite delayed because of the bank. It's probably worked out better in the end. There are no houses around here for 550 anyway, she said. Well, let's have a look here. Let's have a look. We'll go max price, 550,000. And is that working? So let's have a look. Okay, you could go out to Reedy Creek. Reedy Creek's a nice area here. What can you get? There you go, 2 bed, That's a townhouse. Here we go. 3-bed, offers above 419,000. Let's have a look at this. So, what are they showing us here? I mean, there you go. It's a nice little place. I bet you it's a townhouse. They're not showing us any outdoor views. I mean, there you go. That fence needs to be repaired. She's looking a bit worse for wear, but it's... You know, there you go. You got 3 little bedrooms. You got a little balcony, a bathroom, and... yeah, a little townhouse with a little block. The problem is you'll have strata fees and body corporate fees, but you could get into something like that. And those all add up. I know people want houses, but there are only 3 people. Let's have a look. We'll clear all and we'll just go houses. And we'll just go 550. Let's see what else we can find. Okay. I mean, a lot's coming up. What about Robina here? Robina's a nice area here. Robina's doing quite well, particularly around here. What do we have here? Offers above 550. Another. I mean, you're only going to get townhouses for that money, it looks like. I mean, there you go. You know, is this built or is it rendered? Oh, could be real. Yeah, it's looking real. It's staged, obviously. So what do we have there? What about here? Varsity Lakes, 559. Let's have a look here. Here we go. Frescott. Okay, this is literally near to where I grew up in this suburb here. Okay. So here you have a little one. This is the gated community near us, just, you know, a bit further. So it's a body corporate. So it's a little standard place. I mean, okay, you probably want to redo these tiles. But there you go, guys. Oh, still. For over 550, it's probably a bit expensive for what it is. I'd be going a bit further out, honestly. There you go. Burley Waters, only 2-bed. Only 2-bed. Only 2-bed. You know what? Let's change this. We want 3-bed minimum. Let's filter it out a bit more. So let's have a look. Ooh, well. Okay. Oh, there we go. There we go. So there's still some stuff coming up here, guys. Varsity Lakes, 3-3 for 458. Under contract, 499. So you could go the other side. You know, if you go further out, let's go up here to Helensvale, and you'll be able to find some stuff around here. The commute isn't too bad out there. There you go. 430. Oh, 530, 590. So there you have it. Listed 2 days ago. You know, modern kitchen, tile floor, that's good. Little specky. Staged once again. Oh, crap backyard though. That's kind of terrible, honestly. I'm not a fan of that. What about this one here? There we go. We got another one. I mean, there you have it. There's nothing wrong with this. You don't need to renovate it at all. No renovation. You got a little fire pit. That's lovely. You know, they've really spent time on their garden. You know, so you've got bed, master bed. Coming here off the entry. That could even be a study. Family dining. Outdoor living. Little ensuite there popping out. So, well, there's stuff around. I'd be shopping a bit further out. This is the thing. She's looking here. This is still the Gold Coast too, over here. You know, I'd be avoiding Southport and Surface. You don't want to live there anyway. This is the funny thing. They put the mass transit here, the new rail, you know, tram line up along here, where a whole lot of people live out here. Live out there too. So let's jump back to this. So, chasing the dream to become homeowners has come with one huge sacrifice in particular, which has surprised family and friends. We're not expanding our family either. We are one and done, she revealed. We recognize we can't really afford a house, as we would need a bigger house if we are going to expand our family. And with all the other costs associated with having a child, we decided it would be more accessible to us and easier to manage with just one child. Now, that's the saddest thing about all this. That really is. Okay, right now I've got 5 kids, and we're living in a tiny little 3-bedroom place up the road. Okay, we're a bit claustrophobic. It's a bit crazy. This is why, I've gotten the flu, because it's just gone right through all of us, one after the other. But you make do. You make do. You don't be so precious. We've got 2 bunk beds in a room. The kids are loving it. Is this what it is? Do people... One thing I suspect it really is that a lot of people are afraid of the unknown. They're worried that I couldn't possibly live like that, or it wouldn't be manageable, or we couldn't do it. Until they encounter it, and they really could. That's the saddest part of all of this. We've found houses for under 500,000 on the Gold Coast that would probably meet their needs, that look quite nice. And they're not having any other kids. The couple run a tight budget too, with a spreadsheet documenting their money spent each month, with one date night a month their biggest splurge. I mean, that's great. We do that. Rachel projects our monthly income and then anticipates our tax bill at the end of the year. We have to do that because we're small business people. We don't have regular money coming in. We're not employees. So we've got a big tax bill at the end of the year that we need to prepare for. So activities must be cost-free, so there's lots of picnics in the park or on the beach, and entertaining at home so they don't have to hire a babysitter. Miss Mewing added, yeah, that's all normal. You know, that's not a sacrifice. That's called becoming a suburban family. How is that a sacrifice? Or am I just getting old and boring, guys? Is this just it? Am I getting old and boring? I mean, I'm about to hit 40, and Rachel's mother and my mother have promised to take the kids off us, so we can drop them at my mother's house and drop half of them at Rachel's mum's house, and then we can go away. And Rachel wanted to go stay in a hotel and just relax, and then she started seeing the prices of it and came and said, no, we're not doing that. How about I just take you on a date for the night? And I won't tell you where I'm taking you. We'll do some activities. Now, the last time she did that to me was years ago, and she kind of tricked me into thinking we were going to do this bloody line dancing thing. You know, we rocked up there. She told me, oh, it's going to be line dancing, and I fell for it. And I thought, okay, I gotta give it a try. This is some of the stuff you do when you're dating, you know, to keep your girlfriend happy. Or maybe we were married. I can't remember. But she ended up taking me to laser tag, laser combat, which was much better. I quite enjoyed that, actually. Josie, she knows me. So anyway, we are sacrificing, she said. There's a lot of cooking at home. Yeah, that's just normal. That's just normal, okay? I think she's just learning what it's like to be a mum, to head a household. You know, we don't buy new clothes. We only have one car and just make that work. Brett drives me to work, and he drives the bub to daycare, and it's challenging having one car. But another car would mean double the rego and double the fuel. Well, you get a cheap car, but yeah, rego and fuel, I mean, it keeps going up. It is frustrating. When we were doing it tough, I just left the car parked on the front lawn and didn't pay for rego or insurance for about a year, actually, to save money. And I was tempted to sell it. I'm really glad we didn't, though, because it is quite convenient having two vehicles. So Brett surfs rather than going to the gym. I dyed my hair brown. I used to be a blonde. Why dye your hair at all? I don't understand. What's this obsession with hair people have? I don't. Strange. You follically overactive people. I don't have to go and get foils. I should know all about it. My mother is a hairdresser. Okay, for all ironic things, my mother is a hairdresser, so I could get free haircuts for my entire life. Foils. I think I've seen that. And go to the hairdresser as much. It's a big one. I couldn't believe how much I saved. Well, there you go. Yeah, I mean, when I went and got the beard trimmed, it would cost me a fortune. I've stopped getting acrylic now. Manny's Petties are a special treat. We have a coffee machine. Okay, now, this is good. This is good that she is learning. I want to make fun of all of these things, but these are all luxuries. And this is the process that some people need to go through to realize you don't need these things. Petties, manicure, special treatment, coffee, you know, acrylic nails? What do you need acrylic nails for? You grow them, they're free. I don't. She's married. She's got a husband. She can stop now. You know, the Gold Coast, guys. Gold Coast. They're even considering moving out of their current apartment to somewhere with cheaper rent. Yes, that's good. That's smart. The 31-year-old said home ownership is constantly on her mind, and she's anxious about whether they're going to be priced out of the market. No, you just need to change where you're looking. Okay, you just need to stop looking at this part of the Gold Coast and start looking at this part over here. Okay? That's what it is. They're probably wanting to get somewhere close to work. That's what it is. Look at somewhere cheaper. Or maybe, even if you want, go further out. Go really further out. If you want to go on a Beanley, you can get a lot of stuff for that money. You can get much more value for your money right there. There you go, under 400 grand. Eden's Landing. There you go. It hasn't been built, but there you go, turnkey, 400 grand. There are other options. It's not just being close to your pedicure place. This feels really like some of the Gold Coast girls I know from my younger days, from my high school days. So it feels like it's not even viable to get into the market, as houses in Queensland are being bought out by people who are interstate and want to move up and work from home and live the lifestyle. Well, yeah, that's what happens. Sadly, I think that's going to impact us here in Queensland. We're going to be hit, particularly in the more premium areas. You know, they want to live the fantasy. They want to go to the beach and breathe in the sea air. I'm wondering if it would be better to start a business rather than buy a house, as it's too hard to enter the market. Wow, I like this thinking. That's really good thinking. Someone who actually is considering starting a business in Australia. I hope she doesn't discover how hard it is. I really hope. Maybe it's just never going to happen. Maybe we are better off buying a business and getting into a more accessible investment option. Ms. Mewing added that it is frustrating that a bank only cares about earnings from the past 6 months. It's funny the bank doesn't care about your overall history of your income and employment over the last 5 to 10 years. They just care about proof of payslips over the last 3 to 6 months and what you've got in the bank, she said. We also have no debt. We are clean slate. We're in the green. It's not like we have credit cards. I find it incredibly frustrating. We could service a loan instead of paying rent. So there you have it, everyone. $40,000, not enough. I just think they need to start looking elsewhere, guys. I think they need to stop looking. They're not burly heads people. They don't have enough money to be burly heads people. They're Ormu people or Narang people, everyone. Okay? Or Pacific Pines people. There's nothing wrong with that. You got to move this side of the highway to get in your price range. Okay? Don't be too proud. And then you build up your savings and your capital growth. Then you jump into you retire in some of these other areas that are more effective. Or maybe you invest in a business. What do you reckon? Or even let's have a look here in Brisbane. Let's have a look here in Brisbane, everyone. What can we get? You're wrong, where I used to have my office. There you go. Well, that's an option. 475, 475 in Rocklea. There you go, sale by tender. So you can see here, you got this outer area here where you're getting this price range. I mean, even if you go further inland. Oh, here we go. You can go on Macleay Island if you're really brave for that tiny block. I'd be careful about looking at any of these things, guys, if you're looking at property. There's so many stuff that are like dirt cheap, but you've got all the cost of living on this remote island. And the blocks are tiny. It's lovely there. It really is. I reckon you could go there to retire. Everything's prefabbed and transported in. But there you go. You know, there's one guy I was talking to, a potential client wanted to build a few on there as investment properties. So there we have it, everyone. $40,000 is apparently not enough to get a deposit. What do you reckon? Are they just looking in the wrong area? Maybe they need to adjust their expectations. At least this young couple have made some really smart decisions. They've started to save money. They've cut all of the luxuries out of their life, which is a really good sign. You know, what do you reckon? Let me know, guys. I think they just need to adjust their expectations and look somewhere else. As always, thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I create here, there are a few ways you can support us. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links from Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. You can buy merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.